channel again. Yeah, it's Anime Beast. Even though I don't look like Beast, I'm just a normal dude who can't even look like yeah, just never mind. So if you don't know me, like, subscribe, turn on all notifications, and as usual, drop any what if idea you guys think that I should make, and I will make it. And this what if idea that I'm gonna make, I got it from a fan. Yeah, his name was Freezy Game Fuzz. I forgot. I don't really know how to pronounce it, but shout out to him. Just 1 second. Yeah, I got the idea from Joseph Frez. Yeah, him. Shout out to him. If I pronounced it properly, or if I didn't, please correct me in the comments, because I really am bad at pronouncing stuff a bit. No, I'm not stupid. Okay, dude, just chill. So yeah. So as we now have this what if, as we now get onto this what if Naruto created his own root anbu? Yep. What if Naruto smacked Danzo out of the council and smacked the smack all the way back to his mama and created his own root anbu? Yeah. So we start this what if off with a blonde boy, blue eyes, whisker marks, and clothes who look like it's been ripped apart. Like it's been ripped apart, that he has many cuts, bruises, and all that stuff. Like you know what I mean. You know exactly what I meant. Like, you know what I mean. Of course, this is one and only Naruto Uzumaki. As the boy runs in, as the boy Naruto runs, the boy runs into an alley. As we know as Naruto runs in an alley, he runs into an alley which turns out to be a dead end, and the mob catches up to him, as he then says, "Please stop," as they brutally beat him up for a very long time. As this occurrence continues for more than a week, as Naruto, he's starting to lose hope. I mean, this man has pale eyes, and he looks like a normal person who has no emotion but doesn't have pale as skin like Sai. Yeah, so we truly started what if when Naruto's knocked out, he was beaten to death as Naruto wakes up in a sewer. He doesn't care of his surrounding, and he just starts sobbing. As Kurama hears this while he's sleeping, as the Nine Tails opens his eyes, his crimson one-eyed, and he just says, "Kid, shut up." As Naruto completely ignores that he's in a cage, he's in a sewer, and there's a ginormous fox right behind him. He completely forgets all of humanity. Like, he's crying and he's sobbing. As the Nine Tails is like, "Kid, shut the flip up." As Naruto continues, as the Nine Tails is getting pretty angry, as he then roars, getting Naruto's attention, and Naruto turns back behind him and backs a bit from the cage, and then looks at Kurama with pale eyes, with no emotions. As he doesn't feel scared, he doesn't know what he's feeling, he just feels nothing. As Naruto then looks at Kurama and he's like, "What? You're here to beat me up?" As Kurama's like, "Why would I beat you up?" As he shows his ginormous big teeth. As Naruto looks up and he's like, "Oh, you're not one of those idiot villagers, are you?" And he's like, "What?" And then he's like, "No, I'm not." As Naruto then looks to see Kurama. As Kurama is sitting there, he's like, so who are you?" As Kurama then says, I'm the Nine Tails Fox, the demon who attacked the leaf." And he's like, Naruto looks at him dumbfounded, and he's like, "No, I meant, what's your name? Like, don't you have a name? Like, don't every single person has a name?" As the Nine Tails is completely shocked. This kid doesn't care about the meaning that he just said, Nine-Tailed Fox. As he then thinks, has this kid got tormented enough that he doesn't even care about that? Like, if I was gonna kill him or something? As the Nine-Tailed says, that is my name. He's like, no, that's just the Nine-Tailed Fox is not a name, it's a title. As the Nine-Tails is like, whoa. The Nine-Tails in his head says, whoa, chill out, smart one. As he then says, so what's your name, other than that title that the villagers give you? The Nine-Tails Demon Fox and other things. As the Nine-Tail then says, my name is Kurama. As the Nine-Tail says, nice name. Naruto Uzumaki. So what's your last name? As Kurama says, I don't have a last name. He's like, then who's your father? Then he's like, okay, then if you don't have a last name, who's your father? As then Kurama's like, the Sage of the Sixth Path, what was his name? As then he's like, the Sage of the Sixth Path is a title, not a name. He's like, Hagoromo Otsutsuki. As he then says, then your name is Kurama Otsutsuki. As Kurama's surprised that this man just gave him a last name. He's like, you're Kurama Otsutsuki. That means you're probably from the Otsutsuki family. Then who are your brothers? Then did you have any siblings? As Naruto asks since he knows that the Nine-Tails existed for thousands of years. And he's like, there was 2 kids. The founder of the Senju clan and the founder of the Uchiha. Naruto says, and this time Naruto knows more knowledge about since he's the reincarnation of, I think, Ashira, like the good dude, the dude who invented the Senju clan, who's the founder, Ashira. Yeah, I think it's him. Or Indra. Yeah, Ashira. He has more knowledge. He has a tremendous knowledge, and he's like, how do you know those things? I don't know them. It pops up in my head randomly. As then he starts feeling an odd presence in his cage. He doesn't feel Minito's presence, nor Kushina. It's some presence that's way too familiar. Two actually. As a man, you're probably gonna be pissed at me for making this happen early. As a dude with a white cloak and black rings, black weird symbols around the neck part, as he has brown hair and bandages tying the 2 parts of his hair a bit. As this man is, of course, Ashira. As Ashira, he's like, so Kurama, how's it been? As Kurama says, it's been fine. As Naruto says, so you must be Ashira. As the man turns around to see Naruto, as he's like, who, yes, how do you know me? He's like, I don't know. Your name just randomly popped up in my head. As he's like, I guess I can't really expect that from, sometimes I can't really expect that nothing like that to happen. Because it might happen when you become a reincarnation of yourself. She then says, okay, Naruto. Then, okay, Naruto Uzumaki, right? He's like, yes. As he's like, okay, then, what clan do you come from? As Naruto says, my last name, I don't know which clan I come from. 'Cause probably usually back in the day, they'll of course have clans they come from. I think. I don't know. As he's like, so you're not a Uchiha? No, I just have the Uzumaki my full name is Naruto Uzumaki. As in Ashira's surprised, so he's like, you're telling me your full name is Naruto Uzumaki, right? That means you're descendant to me. Oh yeah, the anbu creation part is gonna happen pretty soon. I don't know how he's gonna create a root agent's anbu, because it's gonna be very hard to create one. Let me just see this. As Ashira's like, then why you here? As he then says, I don't know what happened. I just was beat up by the villagers for no reason again, and I got sucked in here. As Ashura's like, villagers, what happened? They call me demon, they disrespect me, and they always try to, how do you say or put it? Always try to kill me. As Naruto then says silently, looking down, as Ashura notices pale eyes with no emotion, as he's like, so, you're treated badly for no reason, and you never had a true family. Yes, my parents died a long time ago. That's what the Hokage tells me. Whenever I ask about my parents, all he says is that my parents were very, 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 very powerful shinobi. That's it. As Naruto then says says that while looking at Ashura, as Ashura's like, well that's sad. So that's really sad. I feel bad for you. As Naruto then says, yeah, there's no need to feel bad for me. There's no need to feel bad for me. It's not like anyone will care anyway. As Naruto says pretty softly and quietly and pretty sad. As Ashura feels pretty sad as well, so he doesn't really feel like he could do anything about it. And he's like, so have you told your Hokage who protects you? The Hokage tries to do everything he can, but the Anbu, they can't really attend to it really much, since there's a lot and since there's a lot to go on, and since there's this weird guy in the council who loves telling secrets that he's not supposed to. As Naruto probably knows about Danzo and pretty much hates him, and wants to one day destroy this man. I mean, he wants to create his own army and defeat him. As Danzo, he really does hate Naruto. As Danzo just wants to use Naruto. As this happens, meanwhile, back in the hospital, Ashura and Naruto keeps talking. As we skip a long time, we skip a few hours later to when Naruto is stuck in a tiny little sleep. As Ashura, sorry I'm saying some stuff that don't make sense. I'm just trying to read my script. And the gameplay you see here is actually a video I made, so, and yeah, so that's why you see that. Yeah, so that's why. So yeah, Naruto wakes up in the hospital. As he then looks around, seeing that he's in a hospital, he had a conversation with Indra, flashback. As Indra says, then if you want to destroy him one day and prove that you are better, how about not get a group of people? As Naruto's like, that's impossible. The villagers hate me. He's like, you guys have something called shinobi, right? Yeah, you have something called shinobi, right? That's true. Naruto says yes. Then how about not used to this? This? How about creating something like how Danzo did? Because Danzo sort of had the roots before the Hokage disbanded them. As Naruto's like, but then the Hokage might disband my organization. As he's like, and plus, no one is gonna accept it and no one's gonna come to it. And he's like, you don't need everyone to be in your organization. You just need a few other people, like maybe thousands to 2,000 people. And secondly, you could do all of that without going rogue. How about this? How about I help you with something? He's like, help me with what? As Ashira would have known every technique, like the Shadow Clone Jutsu. How? First of all, he could see through Hashirama's eyes. And thirdly, since he can see through Hashirama's eyes, so he could technically see Tobirama's technique, the Shadow Clone Jutsu, and since Tobirama sort of taught it to Hashirama, so yeah, so I might have had a little cold, so don't worry about that. As Ashira tries to teach Naruto some stuff. I mean, this man wants to teach Naruto OP jutsu, like jutsu that can just teach some stuff. He just teaches him the Shadow Clone Jutsu and tells Naruto that's it. As Naruto agrees to that, as he then learns that jutsu. He then learns the Shadow Clone Jutsu much earlier in his head, so yeah. As he wakes up, as he sneaks out the hospital and leaves the Shadow Clone there, as he walks out, as he starts strategically planning with in Ashira and the Nine Tails on how to start an organization in Hinleaf without anyone raising any eyebrows. As Indra suggests that he just goes outside and starts collecting people. As Naruto says he can't. As Naruto says he can't because since he's very important, they will chase after him and probably catch up to him. And if he does it multiple times, Danzo will start pulling some strings and get their Nine Tails extracted, which could kill him. As then he's like, damn. As he keeps thinking, as he then says, then how about you send Shadow Clones and disguise them? He's like, then they'll still notice a bit that there's a weird dude coming out, and after other dudes are following him into the village, then it'll kind of be suspicious, as then they'll find out it was him. As, yeah, we don't want any trouble, so how do you create an organization that's that huge? As the Ashira is like, then just go and spread it without the Leaf Villager knowing. And he's like, but still, that'll still be illegal. Because you're technically starting an organization without the Hokage's consent. As Naruto then says, yes, but the third Hokage won't allow me to start an organization. I'm way too young. And he's like, but you can't get anyone since almost everyone hates you. He's like, almost. Only a handful of shinobi, like only a few shinobi don't hate me. Like the Anbu Black Ops, which only works for the Hokage. And yeah, that's the Anbu Black Ops. Some of the clan heads, except for the Hyuga. And yeah, that's it. We can't get any clan heads because they're too important and powerful. And a kid like me can't start an organization. That's way too impossible. As he's like, how about you have an organization set up for other clans to join? He's like, that's still impossible. As then after he's like, So you have to do everything and get the Hokage's consent? You're telling me this man rules over the village? Like, bro, why do you have to get this man's consent every time? And he's like, I don't know. It's like, maybe you could dispatch and steal some anbu from Danzo's organization. That's impossible still. As Indra's knocking his head all day, and Naruto snaps his finger and says, "You know how you said you could still have ninja join your organization? Huh?" As they're like, oh, what do you mean? As he's like, how about you set up this tiny little slip up that could not trick people, but trick people to thinking they were joining the organization and then join his. And he's like, that'll still be illegal, Kurama says. As Naruto's like, I can't get anyone from the outside village because that would still be illegal. And secondly, having rogue ninjas makes me look like I'm starting a coup d'etat. And the village elders might put me in prison and extract the Nine Tails without the Hokage's consent because they're really good at pulling strings. And I can't get any civilians because they all hate me. And I can't start an organization. That's impossible. As everyone is planning, as Naruto comes up with an idea, he could come up with a way to stop Danzo. Because pretty much Kurama knows, and he can sense people's chakra from his cage, and actually knows pretty well that Danzo always craved the Sharingan on the Nine Tails. How, you ask? Because this man always tried getting Kushina into the organization, and sometimes tried attacking her, and he got blamed for it when Minato became Hokage. He almost disbanded the whole entire organization until Danzo said that the organization was important. So the Hokage couldn't really disband an important organization. So he just warned him as this is way more harder since the fourth Hokage is dead and his power was well renowned, so Danzo was afraid of him. Now that he got a lot of shotty, now that he got the Hokage out of the way, he could still make his work plans, but it will still be disrupted by the third. As Naruto then snaps his finger and says, how about this? If I blame it on Danzo, everyone won't be surprised and he'll just crawl out the situation. But I can't work with Danzo because he'll put me under a weird genjutsu Tosonatsu Kami. Because this is probably when Naruto was 10, and it's probably been years now since he's been planning this a long time and training. And also stealing a few scrolls from jutsu libraries. As he then finds a way to start an organization. Easy. You don't betray the leaf and recruit simple Genin. But you can't do that because they also hate him. So how do you think he's going to recruit people? I don't know. Do the same thing the Ikazuki did. Or something like that. Yeah, it's just going to be really hard for Naruto to do that. As Naruto decides, oh well, get rogue ninjas to go to the Leaf Village. As Naruto decides to do that. As we then skip to when Naruto's 10, as Naruto starts putting out posters outside the villages and making a few things and puts posters every single place, but no one knows because there's shadow clones going there. All 5 great nations, every single rogue ninja is now getting these papers. As the 5 Kage starts getting suspicious how rogue ninjas are literally leaving their borders and every land of their country. As everyone is pretty confused, as they don't even know, because as soon as a person finds it, they're told to burn it. As they do that, they're told to take it off the wall, as a new one will be replaced. So you know what happens. A ton of rogue ninjas come and reinstate themselves into the Leaf Village, which is kind of half the council are always trying to vote to execute them, as almost all the council members. Then the other majority is like, if we have more shinobis, and plus they're giving us more intel on other five great nations, so we could technically use that. As then they start joining an anbu. As then they're like, wait, they're not in the anbu Black Ops, so the Hokage starts suspecting that Danzo's stirring up his anbu organization, as the Hokage has asked him countless times, as Danzo has told him he hasn't resumed his organization, which he keeps lying, as he then says, if I haven't, then recheck up my old bases, as Hiruzen does that, as he sends multiple anbus to check their bases, as he finds nothing. As he then says, then someone else is starting an organization. As they now start investigating, and now they're pretty much getting a lot of investigations. How? They see a lot of dudes always coming to visit a specific location near Naruto's apartment. And Amu spies have picked up on that. They've picked up on that situation. Like, they go through the secret room, and then after they disappear, and then so they report their findings to the Hokage, as the Hokage then starts assembling an anbu organization. As we skip to that, as we then appear when there's a ton of anbu shinobi hiding in buildings while members are secretly going into this weird place, while you see members of Naruto's organization called the Elementals, or called the Shadow Operative, the Shadow Dragons, or something like that. Like the Shadows. As they see a dude with the kanji on his back, that's why it's saying Shadows, and he's walking into this abandoned place wearing an Assassin Creed cloak. Yeah, you know the Assassin Creed cloak? You know that Assassin Creed? Yeah, let me just pull it up for you. Yeah, that. Yeah, that kind of stuff. The full Assassin's Creed cloak, like that. Like, that's the full Assassin's Creed cloak they're always wearing. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that since I don't have time to get a... Yeah, that's the full Assassin, that's their uniform. But this, imagine a dragon symbol on that. As you see that. Yeah, you see that. Yeah, that's the organization. That's them organizations. They always do that. As Hiruzen waits for a ton of members to do that, to go in, as then Hiruzen waves his hand, signaling that the anbu should start moving in. As they do the same thing, as they're starting to moving in, as the anbu then do a certain hand sign. No. This is how it goes. The member steps in as they wait for a couple of minutes. The Hokage then says, "Everyone, get ready." As he nods, he waves a finger, as then every anbu in the area and a bit of shinobis appear. As then they have kunai shuriken and are ready to pull out their swords. An anbu Black Ops does the hand signs and opens the door as they run in and see a guard who's standing at the door, as the anbu Black Ops rush to the guard, trying to end him so that he won't alert anyone. As he swipes, as the guard fades away, as then out of nowhere, a sort of something like an explosion but doesn't destroy the building occurs. As they open their eyes to see that the door is open magically, as it then says you passed the test above the ceiling. As then they're like, what? He doesn't looks at the seal perfectly and says this seal is and then looks perfectly at the seal and starts studying it. As he then says, what an advanced seal. Whoever this person is advanced as sealing. Like a seal master. As Donzo says, maybe it's Jirai. He's like, it can't be. If it's First of all, Jirai has been away for multiple times, and if it was him, then I would get reports that there's a pervert running loose. As everyone agrees to that. As they walk in, as what they see is astonishing. They see an army of dudes walking around putting packages with swords, and they look at them as they just saw dudes just putting stuff in storages, as everyone just has an awkward look at each other like, yeah, as they just see scientists and other stuff and other dudes doing that, as then they see Naruto who's walking with the cloak, who's wearing a mask right now, and they're like, oh shoot. As then they see people playing cards, carrying stuff, and guarding the place, and other people with weapons and other things, and tons of dudes marching in like nines, like, a full square, like they're all marching, walking around, and there's one leader looking, doing his normal take-arounds to try to prevent anyone from coming in. As then there's a mission receptionist, and then after there's Naruto chilling, of course, just doing his paperwork. As everyone just stays in an awkward position for a full 5 minutes. As then out of nowhere, a shinobi pops up in Naruto's room where he's doing his stuff. As he then says, our genjutsu has been breached and snapped by no one. We receive camera footage that is the Hokage. As Naruto picks up his katana, cloak, that says kanji for Shadow Leader, as then he runs down, wears his mask, and pops up at the location, like just vanishing and then reappearing at the exact location. As Naruto says, as the man has a leaf headband, Naruto makes the dude have a leaf headband. As he doesn't then looks at every single person there, as they all have leaf headbands, indicating they're a part of the leaf, a part of the same village as them, and they're like, what the fuck? As Naruto says in a very deep voice, using Kuruma's voice, and he's like, how should I help you? How should I help you, Lord Hokage? As the Hokage then says, who are you? And secondly, we're here because you started an illegal organization. And he's like, a legal organization? What do you mean? As he's like, first of all, you're not allowed to start an organization without my consent. So Naruto says, as Naruto, he's kind of pissed at this, because this is actually messed up. Because back then, you can start an organization if you wanted to. As Naruto then looks up and he's like, one question, Hokage. Who gave Danzo the illegal right to make an organization? That's why I disbanded it. You gave him the same thing, and he made his organization under your nose, and you still let it pass. So who's the one at fault here? As then the Hokage is like, no one, and he's like, you. First of all, you allowed Danzo to make his own organization. That was because he was a part of the council. As Naruto then says, but back then he wasn't a part of the council. So explain yourself. As Naruto just snapped it's like Naruto just freaking made Hiruzen look like a bad guy. And Hiruzen's like, no, Danzo started his organization, so I stopped it. As Naruto then says, then how come I can't start my own organization? And he's like, because you have to get my consent. He's like, Firstly, I can't really get your own consent to start an organization because I know you're gonna turn it down anyway. How? First, you always make everything starting an organization seem so hard and stupid. Like, who even wrote that? You make it seem so hard. Like, literally. As this is not Donzo's. This is Homera's. Homera says, "Yeah, you can't say any. Yeah, kid. Yeah, young man. You're disbanding this organization immediately. Everyone is going home." Says, "First of all, you're not the Hokage. He decides if this organization stays. Secondly, you guys gave Donzo a free pass on starting an organization. And thirdly, even though I came to the Hokage and the council to start an organization, you guys will immediately turn it down without even listening. As everyone as everyone pretty much nods, and that is true. Like, multiple people have came to start an organization, but the council would just turn it down, like, immediately before they even start speaking. Your organization is turned down by as everyone is like, that is kind of pretty true, actually. As then they're like, well, if you don't, then we have to arrest you and do you for execution for treason. And he's like, treason? As Naruto gets pretty pissed at this and literally looks at them with a growl and feels like rushing in. And the stupidest thing, Naruto forgot that never let the wind blow. As then Homera throws a kunai, breaking Naruto's mask. As it then reveals, nigga, I'm Naruto. It then reveals Naruto's face. As the Hokage and everyone's eyes widen. As Naruto then says, "So it seems you found out." "Yes, I'm the leader of this organization. And I've wanted to create my own anbu organization for a long time, since you idiot council members won't allow me to have peace. You always want to make yourself more stronger. So I'm going to start my own organization and destroy you. I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to prove that a demon itself could also rule over something. That I'm not a demon of power, weapons, and something you can just use for war. I'm something I'm something that is very powerful and could destroy you at any moment. I'm something that can help change people's lives." As then all the shinobi nods and they're like, so you gathered all these rogue ninjas to start this? As Naruto says, "No. These rogue ninjas are not rogue ninjas who decided to leave on their own accords. The rogue ninjas who've been done wrong by all the 5 great nations. People who's been used, toyed with, played with, like Itachi. The same way you idiots used him. Except for the Hokage. He was against the plan of massacring the Uchihas. He is also my second-hand lieutenant. Secondly, then there's he's been done wrong by the Raikage. He's been blamed by many things. Secondly, not only that, for no reason, people hated him for no reason, and he was kicked off and banished by the Raikage because the Raikage thought was getting way too strong and plotting in a coup d'etat, so he kicked him out of the village, and he failed the mission to bring the most powerfulest the Byakugan back to the village, and as he was against the whole entire thing of kidnapping Hinata. Then we have Tenji. Then we have Tonji. He was blamed for no direct reason by the Hidden Mist. He was also one of the Hidden Mist 7 Ninja Swordsmen, and for no reason, Yagura massacred his whole family just for them to having a bloodline, and tried to kill him. But he gladly escaped. He gladly stayed while May, the soon-to-be fifth fifth Mizukage was doing, and she thought that she was just bringing more and more problems to them, and tried to get him to join the organization, but he said no, as May then kicked him out of the land for no direct reason, and Sisio said that he'd rather help Yagia, than be with the person who's just gonna bring more chaos to the village. Even though you have your final battle, who's gonna be most affected? Not the shinobi, not anyone. The people. And also multiple other peoples. Like Sasaki. As he's the twin brother to Sasaki. He's the younger brother to Sasaki. Just because his brother was a rogue ninja and kidnapped the third Kazekage, everyone hates him and despises him. So, who do you think is at fault? You, or me, or you? Yes, exactly. It's all the five great nations who's at fault. They've all been breaking our lives. And also we have Seko, the dude he was a ninja in the fourth grade ninja war. His father was killed by the Yellow Flash, but he didn't have any seeking vengeance. But when he refused to kill the Yellow Flash over something, when he had the chance, they kicked him out of the village and called him a traitor. And called him a weakling. So, what do you think? Who's at fault here? Who was the person who's doing the bad stuff when you Kunoha Shinobi are just turning a blind eye ballistically? And when the Hokage just says that we should allow the village to be open to people who've been kicked out and done wrong, you literally just said there might be traitors and spies and denied the idea. So who's the most annoying one that needs to be get rid of? The Hokage, the five great nations, which don't need to, because they did not understand, and they were just being kind-hearted people, or was it you? As then everyone just all the anbu just stop, and they're like, yes, every single council member is responsible for those. First, as an anbu then speak up, yes, he is they're all responsible for a lot of things. Like Danzo, he did start a war with another village for no direct reason by sending out Anbu Black Ops, making them wear the Hokage's Anbu Black Ops stuff. As everyone just nods, they're pretty much agreeant to everything that's happened. As Naruto's like, so, am I going to keep my organization, or are you gonna do the same thing as you always do? He's like, what? You're probably planning to get me to do that and take my organization for yourselves. As he's like, as the Hokage is like, fine, Naruto, you can keep the organization, but on one condition. Since your organization are technically like Anbu Black Ops, they're a unit in the Anbu Black Ops, meaning they respond under. He's like, Naruto's like, no, bro. He says, Hokage, no, I don't want to. He's like, why? He's like, because he puts his head tilting towards Danzo. Danzo doesn't notice this. So Hokage says, okay, fine, you can rule your own organization, but I could give you orders and you must obey them. As Naruto nods, he then says, how about this? This is an he was like, okay, fine, this will be an elite faction only reserved for captains who can fight really hard. Since every single dude here could actually could actually destroy an entire army, a few Jonins, destroy them without even no care. As this is an organization that we need. So Naruto's organization is open to the Anbu only, and Naruto is sort of granted a position he's actually granted a position in the council, but he actually just transforms into a very, very tall man who looks like he's been in multiple battles as the head of the Anbu Black Ops unit. As then everyone is just like, as the first day Naruto arrives, everyone is confused to see this man. Now this man looks like a dude who's massacred 10,000s. Like, he's carrying a sword, giant shuriken and a giant scroll on his back. No, he's not carrying a giant shuriken. He's carrying a sword on his back and a giant scroll. As then everyone just looks at this man. As then Hayashi's like, no weapons, dum-dum. As Naruto's like, no insulting people. Hyuga trash. No insulting people, weakling. No, Naruto says, mind what you're saying. Mind what you're saying. Mind what you're saying. I might be young, but I can still slap your ass all the way back to your mom. Your mom. And he was like, I'd like to see you try. Naruto teleports 3 inches. Teleports right behind Hayashi. And makes a freaking cool. He then puts his hand like he's holding a kunai at Hayashi's neck. So Hayashi's like, how you're even faking to put a kunai. As Naruto then does a weird thing by pumping chakra through his hand and makes a kunai pop out of nowhere. And Hayashi's like, that's just an illusion. As he then makes it go close to Hayashi's neck and he feels a cold blade and he's like, okay, my guy, this ain't an illusion. As this man was like, who's the weakling now, Hayashi, huh? Exactly. As Hayashi's like, Hyugas are strongest, and he's about to turn around as Naruto then does the embarrassing thing by flicking his hand and making Hayashi trip, and then sweeps this man off his feet, and then kicks him in the stomach, and then after changes the kunai from a normal kunai to a sword, and it's points out at Hayashi's throat. And this man is about to stab it through. Run it through as the Hokage is like, Naruto, calm down. As he's like, he insulted me. As then Naruto walks in, because that was not Naruto. As Naruto says, put the blade down. Put the blade down, Lion. As the dude we now know as codenamed Lion steps right behind Naruto as he just sits down in a Shadows booth chair, and he's like, this is so boring. As then everyone is just shocked to see a freaking 10-year-old sitting in a council, the big table, discussing stuff, and a lot of stuff, as he was like, so, are we gonna start the meeting already, or are we just gonna sit here all day? As the Hokage just walks in and he's like, yeah. And as the Hokage sits down, he's pretty much yawning since he has to do a lot of paperwork. As everyone is just surprised that there's a kid here. As Hayashi says, kid, who the flip are you? You're not supposed to be here. Get out. As Naruto's like, what do you mean I am supposed to be here? As he then says, no, you're not. You're not supposed to be here. The council room is only for clan heads, anbu Black Ops leaders, and the elders. He's like, I'm supposed to be here. It's like, how? First of all, I'm not only a clan head of the Uzumaki clan. Secondly, I'm also the leader of the anbu Black Ops, a new unit of the anbu Black Ops called the Shadows. That's my organization. The directors respond to me. That's it. So I could technically sit here. As Hayashi's like, wait, what? It's like, then you're not supposed to be here. There's supposed to be an adult. As Naruto disappears and goes back and makes a kunai appear from thin air, and he's like, do you have a problem with that? Because if you do, you could just say it. As Hayashi, he pretty much just shuts his mouth up, and he's like, as he sits down and listens, as he sits down and just stays there, not saying a peep. Then the Hokage's like, then the Danzo's like, Danzo doesn't speak. I mean, a random dude just speaks. He's the dude who just speaks at every meeting when they call one, and he's like, I guess everyone was responsible for this meeting. As the daimyo's like, yes, and he's like, Lord Hokage, I can't believe there's a kid ruling over Nambu, the opponent. As Naruto's like, well, you got a problem with that? As the daimyo was like, no, I don't got a problem with that. I'm just surprised. And I was like, Naruto, respect the daimyo. He's the daimyo, bro. First of all, it's pretty understandable. The daimyo, how can you respect a dude who just randomly pops up in your face when he technically has to earn your respect? And the daimyo was like, finally, someone agrees with me. As then everyone looks at this man and is like, I don't know why, but as soon as I come into an office or something, everyone is at my feet. And I haven't even won the respect yet. I'm just a random dude walking in. As they're like, yeah. As they all are technically like, yeah, like, it's pretty much true. Like, for the election, I only won the people's respect. And the people who just randomly pop in as soon as they pop in a room, I haven't even earned the respect yet. I'm literally getting praised and worshipped as Daimyo's like, finally. Now this is why I really love younger people ruling over stuff. Yeah, the Daimyo pretty much hates it when he hasn't won no one's respect and they're just treating him like he's a golden treasure. So yeah, that's it. As then everyone is like, okay. As then Naruto's like, so what's this council meeting about? As the Hokage says, well, since Naruto's now the new head of almost all the anbu units, and technically rules over the whole entire organization now, and has his own separate organization that only works for the Hokage, and he only responds to the Hokage. Yes, that's true. And also, this organization only responds a little bit to the daimyo. There's no one else. Meaning, this organization I have does not respond to elders, clan heads, does not respond to the elders, of course. As they're like, that's not fair, we would have to respond to everything. And Naruto's like, you idiots. First of all, you idiots, whenever you come to a council meeting, you start bossing the clan heads when you thinking you can, when it's in reality, the law clearly states no council elder can order the clan heads, not even the Hokage. That's impossible. So I don't get it why every single clan head is afraid of you guys. As you guys are just old geezers who just won your power by nothing. As everyone just like, wait, what? As Naruto's like, you guys didn't know? Have you guys even looked at the council policies? As he just throws a book over to all the clan heads as they look at it, as they're like, leave council policies. As then he's like, look on page 141. It clearly states no council elders nor the Hokage can boss you around. Unless it's a dire situation and there's a moving scheme going on. Then you could swear your allegiance to the Hokage and your clan can be involved. That's it. So since your clan is not involved in anything right now, or there's no war happening, you don't need to be bossed around by the council or idiots. Whereas they're like, hey, it's kind of, this kid is kind of right. We're the freaking council elders, so we're the freaking clan heads. As they look at the council pretty annoyed, as they're like, yes, also, no council member can control an organization that swears their allegiance to the Hokage. That's it. As then, that's what Naruto says. As the council is like, kid, shut up. As Naruto's like, why should I shut up? So you could continue your power and act like you're the boss. As the person nods, which this person was actually Itachi. As there's a second person who comes in the room and he's like, sorry, I'm late. I was lost on the path of his like, bro, Itachi, stop with the path of life. I know what you were doing. And by the way, you should have told Uncle I said hi. As in, Itachi's like, how the way you fucking know? He's like, yes, bro, I know. I literally spy on you guys all the time. It's pretty good. Yeah, Itachi's age is getting buffed up to 26. No. To 24. Yes, 24. As Itachi's like, what do you mean? He's like, bro, yeah, don't play dumb. I know Uncle is your fiance. Not only that, and says congratulations, by the way, as he's like, how do you know that too? As as everyone is just like, huh? Uncle Midirashi is dating Itachi Uchiha. Huh? Wait. Did this man just say Itachi? Bro, nigga, you massacred. Whoa. I didn't massacre my clan like that. They ordered me to. As everyone looks at the council, the elders again, as they're like, you ordered this man to massacre this whole clan. As oh yeah, what ship should I make Naruto go to? Like, should I make him go with Naruto and Samui, Naruhina, or Naruino, and Narusara? Cause Sakura, get the out. You can have Sasuke. As as he's like, does it? Well, as Itachi starts pointing his hand like that, as everyone is just pretty surprised. Even Hiyashi, who finally smacks the man who was talking crap about Naruto, cause hey, talk crap about the fourth Akage's son and you're smacked in the head. Yeah, that was someone else actually. So he got his butt slapped. As then Naruto's like, I'm sorry about that. Now let's go to the true meaning. As they're like, okay, as the daimyo says, well, there's a tiny problem I have. My spies and records are starting to pick up on an organization. Let me guess, the organization. Sorry to interrupt you. Let me guess, the organization named the Akatsuki. The organization that's full of bandits, terrorists, and every single member's list is here. As Itachi used to be a former member who just gave me all the list of the names. As then everyone's sweat drops again. Sweat drops and he's like, the Hokage then says, okay. As he's like, here's all the manual informations about them. As Naruto goes on to say, Kakazu and Hidan, the partners. Hidan is an immortal dude, and he loves worshiping this man named Jashin. He calls him a god. Then he then says, this man. Then he then says, Hidan, Kakazu. Kakazu, he's a rogue ninja from the Hind Waterfall village, who was kicked out of the Hind Waterfall for failing a mission to kill the first Hokage. As everyone's like, first Hokage? What do you mean? Like, bro, did you make a mistake in the reading? As Naruto says, no, I did not make a mistake. Hidan is also immortal. He's lived since the first Hokage's reign over, so he failed the mission and he was kicked out of the Hind Waterfall. Then we have Team Water Springs. We have the two missing ninja swordsmen from the Hind Mist, Kisame and him, the dude who wields, the Kisame and another dude named Teiko. They're both rogue ninjas. Teiko failed to kill the fourth Mizukage, and secondly, that's it. He failed to kill the fourth Mizukage after Zabuza did. As Naruto then flips over the page, he's like, Deidara and Sasori. Sasori of the Red Sand. He's responsible for kidnapping the third Kazekage. He's made himself into a puppet. And we now skip to Orochimaru of the Hidden Leaf, your rogue ninja. You all know him as a legendary Sani trying to drag knowledge. And Itachi are able to pinpoint all his bases. As I've almost sent an anbu to massacre them. I have massacred all of his bases in the Land of Fire. And also the bases for the Com organization. As the feudal lord then has a sigh, as he's like, yes, as Orochimaru ex-member, that's it. As we have pain. We don't know any information about him, but we know he's able to control people like puppets, like how he can do it. He has a Keki Genkai called the Renegon. That's it. And the real person who's Pain is actually Nagato Uzumaki. Didn't know one of my clansmen was gonna do that. Oh yeah, by the way, Lord Hokage. I asked for permission to do an expedition on raiding a base that's in the land of Earth that contains 100 of the Uzumaki clan members. Not only that, this can also help strengthen the village Funjutsu style. As the Hokage is like, oh, okay. As everyone is like, all in favor? As everyone raises their hand, including all the elders, like they're like this is gonna have power. As Naruto nods, lion, tell 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 Sasuke to prepare the troops. As you're like, sure. As then they disappear. as he's as he says, monkey, you too. Get 300 get 300 other troops to head to the base in the south. Get 300 troops from the base in the south and report to Mao that he should get every single play, and get Jay to freaking send out 300 other troops, and Itachi, since you're gonna be lieutenant, send 10,000 troops to the exact pinpoint. As everyone jaws your wait, did this man just say 10,000 troops? Drop point? What are you saying? As Naruto takes out a map, poofs a ginormous map in the room and says, this is all the bases that each and every single Uzumaki is located. Around 1,000 are located in each drop zone. I'm planning to attack from not above, above. Each of us have a weird summoning contract that I created to allow us to drop at each drop site. So, we're gonna attack from above and destroy Orochimaru's base from above. From above, as Naruto says, every single summoning user for Hawks is gonna do that, as that's gonna happen. As then he circles a base here. He's like, this base, I've had Anbu surveilling it, and also have destroyed it multiple times, as Orochimaru can't go there. Because if he goes, he'll be eliminated by Itachi's unit. So, I'm trying to create a diversion to make it seem like there's no Anbu guarding this place. To make it seem like there's nothing guarding this place. And secondly, I've looked up at all Orochimaru's old bases and taken them over and did some renovations. And created them in my own bases. And created multiple bases. Land of Earth, Land of Water, Land of other places. And I've gathered tons and massive loads of information. As Naruto passes the papers to the council, as they look impressed, they look at the information on multiple Anbu, from Anbu to Genin to Jonin to Genin to Chunin to Genin, like everything is just decked out. Information, clans, and everything, and their clan weaknesses. That's just. And then the council's like, we're flattered and impressed. As Naruto then says, so this is my main plan. Attack each base. Make it seem like there's a whole entire invasion on the Sound. Sound, what do you mean? The Sound is the village that Orochimaru has created. So I have decided to attack Orochimaru's main village. But I can't do that, so I'm not gonna attack it. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make on my own gather information on the real main Sound village, which actually is just beyond the Land of Fire and exists right here. As he points at a place that's near the rain and grass. As they're like, okay, pretty interesting. As they start searching through more, as Naruto says. And also here, as he points down again to another base right here, and he's like, we're due to attack this by next, call it in 3 months. As they're like, nice. as they pretty much are impressed to see that there's a freaking genius among here. And Nara is like, okay, so are we allowed to assist? This mission might allow a lot to assist since we sort of collected a lot of members from Shinobi, if that's no mind. He's like, okay, that's fine. And a lot of them are from almost each clan here, as everyone looks at Naruto with their arms crossed and ready to. If he says, and he's like, they're all almost every single member of each clan here, except for the Uchiha, are all lieutenants. And then they're like, wait, what? Meaning, people from Hyuga, Akamichi, and so on are all lieutenants. And he's like, so that means you guys have a bit of power in this organization. You guys have a bit of power to vote if you want your clansmen to go on this mission. Or do you want your clans to participate? As then they're like, what do you mean? Like, you could choose if your clansmen go on an important mission that can help the Leaf and have your clan not involved in it, or you could choose to have your clan and also have some members of your clan being involved in this mission as they think of this. Okay, the Hyuga says, Hiyashi says, I'll have my clansmen and 50 other of my clansmen involved in this mission. As then the other clan's head says 20, 40, 100, 200, 5 for the Nara, and the 3 Akamichis. Wait. If I didn't mean to say 50, I meant 200. I meant 10,000, either 10,000 or 200. The 10,000 mean the main force. And then they're like, oh, no. Yeah, 3,000. Then it's like 3,000 for observation for the Inuzuka. As then they're like, I thank you for your pleasing, and I shall attend this mission. As Naruto then gives the signal, as you see thousands of shinobi popping out of the village like zoom, as everyone is like jaws dropped and they're like, how many exactly shinobis do you have, Naruto? 1 million. 1 million? You're telling us the Leaf has manpower like that to wipe out a whole nation? No. 1 million and 1,000 for my special guarding force. As then they're like, wait, how much is a special guarding force? Around 10,000 troops. I said Itachi was my main lieutenant. So are some other members of your clans. Those are the people who literally follow me around. And he's like, as everyone starts to notice, there are literally 10 other chakra signatures. As they all drop down, as he's like, yes, these are the other lieutenants. They rule over a lot. Like, they rule over 2,000 each of each force. As I met five dudes just popped down. He's like, they rule over 2,000 each force. As they're like, impressive, damn. You had that much men right under our noses? Yes. And Naruto then says, subscribe to Anime Beast What Ifs. It has great what ifs, and probably I'm trash because I better do Naruto voice. And also, this is the part where I will be ending out. Peace.